All right, Temple here with a recap of Beast Coast for you. I don't want to go into talking about Beast Coast and about the event. I want to talk about what I wanted to get out of the event, what the event did for me, and kind of everything around that. Um, I think there's a lot of stuff to talk about Beast Coast, and I'd rather bring that up on the podcast. So if you're not already subscribed to the Slide United podcast, that would be the place to go. Don't know we're going to hit that topic, but I'm going to save it in my notes for when we start recapping everything that we've already done this year. But anyways, so Beast Coast round one was last weekend on the 9th at the firm. It's a 235 300 treadwear comp, so which made it interesting for us because, new build, new car basically for me, and I've only done 5 laps at Fuel Fest, where I was on scrub tires and really didn't get a full shakedown of the car. And of course, if you saw the last video, kind of I didn't lose the transmission, but the transmission got stuck in gear. So only did 5 laps out there. Was kind of like, okay, well that's shakedown number one. Car felt okay. Car felt slow and loose. So, I'm partnered with Accelera Tires, Tire Streets this year. So I'm going to be running the same tires that I ran last year, which are the 651 Sports. So that's their 200 treadwear, kind of like their drift tire. So I run a 265 3518, and I'm going to run those same tires again this year. But of course, this year I'm making, over 200 more horsepower than last year. So it'll be interesting. So with this 300 treadwear comp, I reached out to my rep at Accelera. I was like, hey, you guys don't really have any good options for this 300 treadwear comp. You have your FIs, but they're 400 treadwear. And, one thing I love about, Tire Streets and Accelera is that I can get those 651 Sports anytime I want. They always have the size that I want in stock. And, they get to me in, less than a week, right? So unless I do big orders, which I normally do big orders anyways over, like 2 pallets or so. But so the FIs come in and out of stock because they're a great fun tire, great low horsepower tire. And at the time, leading up to it, because I like to purchase my tires well in advance, like 6 weeks plus in advance. And they didn't have any more of the FIs, so I was like, hey, what am I going to do? And they said, hey, run whatever you need to run. We have some stuff coming out, next year, maybe, third quarter this year, we'll be releasing it, blah, blah, blah. So, not much I can really do there, but basically got to go ahead to run whatever I want. So I was mixed between what tire am I going to run? What do I want to do? How are these 235s going to be even on the car at 600 horsepower? So I had a lot of questions. So it took me a while to figure it out, but basically I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go with cheapo tires, because as much as I want to go out there and win competition, I'm still shaking down the car. I'm still getting used to the car. I don't know how much setup changes I need to do to the car. So I just went with cheap tires. So I got myself a bunch of Cosmo Mucho Machos. So at, really, really cheap price, and was going to run those. So had those on the car and did a setup change. So I normally have I had it pretty dialed in on the 4.8 before. But, driving out of Fuel Fest, even though it was loose out there and I was on scrubs, car felt loose and slow. So I was like, you know what, this is my opportunity to kind of try something different and see what the car does. So, I added a bunch of more toe in the rear and was like, you know what, let's see what this max toe gain setting is. So if I come over here and show you real quick, I have PBM drop knuckles, and running a bunch of stock stuff back here. But as you can see right there, that's their toe gain plate. So you got 5 different options. You got neutral in the middle. As you go down, it increases how much toe gain per squat. And then if you go up, it's toe out per squat, kind of like for fun stuff. So I was like, you know what? Let's try the car on max toe gain. I want to know what it does. And so that's what we did. So Beast Coast for me was a couple of things. It was competition seat time experience, more seat time in the car, keep running the car through its paces. And also I have a new crew member who's joining me this year, school buddy of mine, Marine veteran as well, named Joe. He's done a lot of dirt bike stuff, a lot of two-stroke stuff, definitely knows his way around tools. He's also another mechanical engineer. Like I said, I went to school with him, right? He graduated the year before me. And we're pretty close buddies. So awesome to have him on the team, and it was the perfect event to go to where if I needed to take extra time to show him how we did things, where the tools were, all the little quirks on the car, like that was the chance to do it. And it was okay if we went slower, So it was just me and him out there. And well, did we really get into it? So you'll see here that on the first practice session, I went out and did 2 laps. And then on the way in, something really fun happened. Didn't get any oil in the track, did I? Hopefully not too bad.
No, probably not awful, man.
Okay.
Sorry about that, dude.
Well, I don't know what's wrong, so we'll find out.
Hopefully it's just a line.
All part of you. I'm fine. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
As soon as I started driving down the straight, oil just flew out of everywhere.
Oh shit.
So we'll find out, I guess.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
a little bit of smoke, and I was like, oh no, I'm there. Whoosh. Immediately pulled off traction car off. Okay. We'll grab the brake clean, we'll grab a Phillips head, so we'll check the catch can. I know the catch can was empty before we started.
Yeah, that
Nothing
second,
to write home about.
that second run, that last trip was pretty smooth.
Yeah, I wasn't to the outer zone where I should be,
Oh, okay.
but I don't have that second part of the course quite figured out yet because
That first part is so weird.
well, because the first part's easy. When you come out of the first part into the second part, the car, there's like really, they made it so narrow. If they just left those cones out there and I could like bend and then like squeeze it back, and like there's like not even enough space to like really drift around the. All right. I'm definitely giving it the beans, so I'm probably using nitrous. Ooh, this bottle is nasty. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like the oil cooler. The line might have broken. Okay, we can possibly fix that. All right. Let's find a. Let's try to fix it and then go find a hose.
Yeah, because that one was
At least I didn't catch on fire. This is the second time now that I've had these push lock lines decide to separate, and it's only been on 6.2 motors. So it happened before last year, over a year ago, so like 13 months ago, when I had the L92 in the car that I was going to use for 2023. It pushed a push lock line, oil line off, and then this LS3 just did the same thing. Different line, different location, but man, these push lock lines are great for fuel. I've had no problems on the fuel side, knock on wood. But man, I'm just not having good luck on the oil. Not one problem with the 4.8, but for some reason with these LS3s, it's not happy. So luckily, motors seem to be fine. I haven't seen anything weird in the data logs, and luckily I didn't catch on fire. That's it's a whole other topic with the fact of fire safety not being there. But either way, that was the perfect chance. We put us to the fire. Got to get the car fixed, got to get the car back out, and, car cleaned up because it was covered, as you saw, covered in oil. So I got, 3 full practice laps, all lead laps. And then they went into qualifying. Qualifying was really weird. To be honest, I don't know if they could have made a better choice, but I got 3 more lead practice laps in qualifying because it rained before I went out, so they gave me a sight lap, and so we're going into competition on 6 lead practice laps, which isn't really a lot, and the course wasn't that great, to be fair, and I don't know how you could really make a good competition course at the firm either. But yeah, so qualifying got, cut down because it was taking way too long, and they ended up doing a chip draw, which was good and bad. My chip draw ended up being a buy run for 32. So cool. I made it into 16. Happy, right? But man, I really need the seat time. I really need the tandem seat time now. I gotta level up, my tandem game. I'm, even though I wasn't really like super focused and super honed in on it. I'm doing lead laps. My lead laps, for not being super, picky about it, was pretty much what I need to do. So it's really my tandem game that I need to step up. So got a bye run in 32. Did my traditional drive through the course to save tires. Right, everybody was confused as they were at U.S. Drift Circuit. So that was a good laugh. But my 16 was up against this guy named Hayden, and I've seen him drive several times out there with the monster guys, because he's like a new monster guy. He's driving Lee's old S13 that they put a KA turbo into. So he's been ripping that thing and partying with those boys. So I didn't have an easy battle for my 16. The grid was quite interesting. You had plenty of us pro-am guys out there, and then you had a bunch of grassroots guys out there too in their Z's, and some of those guys couldn't complete a lap. So, my 16 battle was actually, a good battle very early on. Gave him a good lead, which you'll see, and then I chased him as best I could. I had no idea how bad I was going to get choked up in the beginning of the first half of the course. Course is broken into two parts basically, and then this LS3 and all this torque on this tiny tire just really got me just spinning, and I got gapped on the straight. So I risked it all and threw it in early, and I took myself out. He drove great, to be fair, and I got to run the car, and to keep going through all these little teething issues that is just part of these new builds and whatnot. Would have loved to have gotten more tandem seat time practice, but it checked the boxes. Ran the car, went through the next teething issue. Competition seat time, and I got to try out the new suspension changes with the even though it was on the 235 tire, and learned that I didn't like it. On the lower speed stuff, like in the start of the course where it was all second gear stuff, it was actually pretty good, because I could just I could roll into the throttle, and I can move the car across the track to certain spots that I wanted to. On the big sweeper in the second part of the course, the car would want to straighten on me. So there was a finesse of steering angle and left foot brake to kind of keep it from doing that, instead of being able to just lock in and just hold that line all the way through. So I'm going to change the settings again. Next event is kind of a question mark, because there's some different things going on in April. I'm saving the car and tires and stuff for May. I got potentially a really big thing going on in May that I'm super excited about. And then, I think Beast Coast is going to be at Citrus County in May as well, which I'm willing to give Beast Coast a second chance at running an event, and, see what they can do at Citrus, and gives me practice at Citrus before US Drift Circuit. So multiple things going on there. But anyways, as I almost lose my phone here, car's in one piece. Car didn't catch on fire, and it's time to get this thing on jack stands and ready for the next event. I gotta fix the passenger seat. It broke at Fuel Fest.
Fire suppression system is, as officially as of next month, is no good. So I got to put a new suppression system in. That system's 9 years old in there, so I just can't refill the tank and it'd be good. And it's time to go a little hot boy and get some lights under the car, for night events. So the car looks good, and that's about it. Well, anyways, Temple here. See you at the next event, and thanks for watching.